An elementary school classroom in a slum by Stephen Spender.
Surely Shakespeare is wicked, the map a bad example, with ships and sun and love tempting them to steal, for lives that slyly turn in the cramped holes, from fog to endless night. On the slag heap, these children wear skins peep through by bones and spectacles of steel with mended glass, like bottle bits on stones. All of the time and space a foggy slum, so blot their maps with slums as big as doom. In the third stanza, poet explores the issues of the children watching and envying the upper class. He presents the picture of social disparity, injustice, and class inequality. Poet says, surely Shakespeare is wicked. Now, William Shakespeare is not wicked. He is an epitome of high literary excellence. But the portrait of Shakespeare hung on the wall of the slum classroom is bad. It is a bad example. It's a wicked example. Why? Because the kids, the slum children, they can't just dream of being literate like Shakespeare. Now, Shakespeare's work enlightened the whole world, but these slum children who are not able to get the primary or the basic education, reaching out to Shakespeare is just a dream for them. Map a bad example. Now, map, the world map hanging on the wall, that speaks of the world of rich, the world of prosperous, with the civilized dome, with the belt flowery Tiroli valley. It speaks of the prosperity, the richness, the world of rich. It speaks of that. But this map is a bad example because this map arouses in them hopes and aspirations which will never be fulfilled. They can't have access to the world of rich. And moreover, this world map does not tell them the real world of the narrow lanes, the stingy lanes of the slum area. They want to explore this world map, but then they can't. With ships and sun and love tempting them to steal. Ships, that is the progress. Sun, that is basking in the glory of natural beauty. Love, a human desire. Now, these ships, sun, and love, they want this. They want to explore the world around. So, they want to escape from the world of miserable slums to the prosperous world. And then they get lured with this and they drag themselves to a life of crime and criminal activities. So, they are tempted to steal. For lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes from fog to endless night. So, their life starts with a fog of uncertainty and end with death. Their life is full of misery and hopelessness. So, he says from fog of uncertainty to endless night, that is death, their lives slyly turn, their lives very secretly and cleverly turn in their cramped holes. That is, they spend their entire life in struggling and striving to sustain their life despite all odds in the dirty, narrow, crowded holes, the lanes, the dirty lanes that are full of garbage. They slyly and secretly, their life is spent and come to an end with death. On the slag heap, these children wear skins peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel. So, on the slag heap, what are slag heaps? Slag heaps are, heap means mound, and slag heap means pile of waste material. So, these children wander with their slag heaps. On the slag heap, these children wear skins. These children wear skins peeped through by bones. So, these children, they tell us that it is an example of undernourishment because their skin they are very thin and they are malnourished, and they uh, they look like skeleton. So the skin is more like a clothing to them. So the bones are peeping from that skin, and it looks what, and wear spectacles of steel with mended glass, and they wear the spectacles of steel with mended glass, that is the repaired glass. So like bottle bits on stone, like bottle bits of stone, so like bottles scatter in number and number, and those glasses are mended and repaired. So that spectacles they are wearing. So bottle bits of stone talks of the how their life is also shattered like the same. All of their time and space are foggy slum. So the life of they live a life of uncertainty. They pass their life in polluted slums, struggling all the time, from foggy mornings to dark nights. They live a life of hell, confined to their uncertainty, unhealthy, polluted slums. So all their time and space is this slum area. That gives a sorry picture of the living hell of these people. So blot their maps with slums as big as dome. So blot their maps. The maps, they are a blot on the civilized world of rich and great. What a blot? That is the slum area. The slum of these kids, the slum of these poor people is a blot, is a blemish, is a dark spot on the civilized world of the rich and the powerful people. With slums as big as domes. So it says that the world of the slum children is floggy, filthy slums. It is a living nightmare. So their life is worse than death. So he says, the poet says, as death very slowly stalks in the life of anybody, anytime. Similarly, the slums are stalking, growing, mushrooming in the world. So the poet says that how the slums are growing in numbers. They are the stain. They are the stain on the map, that as they don't belong to the civilized world. Now, so poet over here is giving us two different worlds. One is the dirty slum with narrow lanes and cramped holes. That is the real world, the real living nightmare, a virtual hell. And the other is the world of prosperity, where there is beauty, there are rich and the powerful dwell. He says the map of the world are a blot on the slums are a blot on the map of this world. So he says, the poet says that this gap must be reduced between the two worlds. Stanza 4. Unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes the window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs break open till they break the town, and show the children to green fields, and make their world run azure on gold sands, and let their tongues run naked into books, the white and green leaves open. History theirs, whose language is the sun. In stanza 4, the poet touches on the idea that education can unlock the best for them if they were freed from the barriers. The power of education can transform the lives of these children. Poet says, unless governor, inspector, visitor, that is, unless the effort is made by governor, inspector, and visitors, if they can initiate and bring social justice in their life, if they can make a world of opportunities available to them, then their lives would definitely change. This map becomes their window. The map that is hanging on the school wall, that becomes their window. That is the world beyond. Let them explore the world beyond this map. And these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. Catacomb students is underground graves, and graves are dark and suffocating. So the lives of these slum dwellers are shut up in the cemeteries of slums. The poet says what? And these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. So those windows, the classroom windows, are the windows through which they see their real world of narrow, stinging lane, diseased, garbage, and time. All the time and space is that slums. So let those windows be shut and the world map to be opened and opportunities to be opened to them so that they explore the world. Break open till they break the town. So poet says that the shackles of disparity and injustice should be broken. They should be free from all atrocities and economic injustice, and let them breathe in a healthy environment. So the barriers that keep away true education from them, let those barriers be broken till they break the town. Otherwise they would be lured to ship, to sun, to love, and they would break the town. They might revolt. So this social disparity and injustice should be put to an end. And show the children to green fields. Let these children be shown the green fields. Green fields, a carefree and happy life where social and economic injustice does not prevail and everyone enjoys the right to live a happy life. And make their world run azure on gold sands. So the poet says that their world should extend to the blue sky. Azure means blue sky, rising above the gold sand. But this poet means to expose these children to hope and to open air where they can be free. And let their tongues run naked into books, the white and green leaves open. White here stands for the formal education and green here stands for nature. That is, when they are exposed to nature, when they are one with nature, they learn from nature. So he says, poet says that if students are truly allowed to explore the world and they are allowed to run their to get education from the donated books, then their education and their language will become their power. Let them be educated and let them pages of wisdom be open to them so that they can master the language, they can master themselves through knowledge. History theirs whose language is the sun. Sun is symbolic of grace and light of God. So the poet says that these people can create history, and they can create history only when they have the power of knowledge, when they are enlightened, when they are educated. The language must have the strength and brightness and warmth of sun. Then only they would be able to create history. And this language will be the sun burning away the fog that has sealed their lives and that have doomed them to the slum. So poet says what? That let them be ignited by the fire of knowledge and learning.